So let's talk about the Metallica mosh pit. Now, you might think you've seen some crazy pits before, maybe you've been in one at a show or you've watched some YouTube videos, but trust me, unless you've been to one of those Metallica shows, you have no idea what you're in for. It's like thinking you're in a bar fight, but suddenly you realize you've walked into a war zone where the only thing you can count on is getting hit from all sides. You ever been on the front lines of a war? Well, this is a body mosh war, and your body? It's the battlefield. Listen, you might be thinking, I got this, I'm ready. I've been listening to Master of Puppets since I was 5. And yeah, you might have that confidence going in. But believe me, it's not until you step into that pit that you realize, oh shit, what did I sign up for? So, you walk into the Metallica show and you're pumped, right? The adrenaline is coursing through your veins, you're just like, yeah, let's do this. You've been headbanging in your car, blasting For Whom the Bell Tolls as you make eye contact with other drivers like, I'm ready for anything. And sure, you've been at smaller shows, you've been to some hardcore punk shows where people get a little rowdy. But this is Metallica, baby. You feel the energy in the air, it's like the crowd is vibrating, like the atmosphere itself is alive and it knows what's coming. There's a buzz in the air, and not just from the amps getting cranked up, but from the crowd. Everyone is ready. You can feel the people around you, metalheads, punks, long-haired warriors, tattooed rebels, they're all on the edge, just waiting for the first note to hit. And then, it happens. The first note of Enter Sandman hits and suddenly the crowd explodes. Everyone around you is screaming, fists are pumping, and before you know it, you're swept into the pit like you're being pulled into a vortex of metal energy. And let me tell you, that adrenaline rush you get? It's the best feeling in the world until it's not. Because then you step in and you realize something. This isn't just a mosh pit, this is a human blender with thrash metal for seasoning. The crowd is aggressive, but not in a fun way. It's like you've just stepped into a street fight, but everyone is high on energy drinks and bad decisions. And you're not just moshing to Enter Sandman. You're surviving it. You thought you were gonna be part of this epic, iconic show, but now you're just trying not to get killed. Let me tell you, if you think other pits are crazy, Metallica pits? They're on a whole other level. These fans don't mosh, they attack. And not just attack in some playful way like you're at a punk show where everyone's having fun. No, this is the kind of pit where you get thrown into someone's chest and feel like your spine just compressed in a way that's probably illegal in 30 states. Now, you know there's always one guy, right? The guy who thinks he's a WWE superstar, but instead of throwing elbows in the ring, he's just throwing them around like he's trying to take down a charging bull. And you're just in the way. You don't even know how it happens, but suddenly you're flying through the air like you're some kind of accidental stuntman, and boom, there you are, on the ground, gasping for air. And these people? They don't care. You think they're going to apologize for nearly taking your face off with an elbow? No. They just keep motioning like they've never heard of boundaries. I've had dudes in Metallica shirts with biceps the size of my thigh slamming into me with all the grace of a rhino on roller skates. And you know what they're thinking? Hell yeah, I'm living my best life. You? You're just trying not to die. And let's talk about the mechanics of a Metallica mosh pit, alright? It starts out innocently enough. At first, you're just kind of bouncing around, vibing with the music. You're like, yeah, this is cool. I'm having a great time. You're in the middle of this pit and you think, I'm handling this like a pro. But then you feel it. Wham! Someone just elbowed you in the face. It's not a big deal, right? I mean, it's a mosh pit. This is Metallica. This is what you came for. You roll with it, shake it off, pop your shoulder back in, and keep moshing. But then, out of nowhere, some dude with a mohawk the size of a small airplane comes flying into you, and suddenly you feel like you're being tackled by a linebacker. He's not apologizing. He's just moshing harder. And you? You just got owned. Again. But that's the thing, other mosh pits, at least people try to avoid slamming into you on purpose. Not in a Metallica pit. In these pits, it's like the law of the jungle. The strongest survive. 1 minute you're just vibing, and then some dude who looks like he's been bench pressing boulders all his life comes charging at you and launches you 10 feet in the air like you're some kind of ragdoll. And you know what's the best part? When you get launched into the air, no one's going to catch you. You're just falling helplessly like a broken guitar being tossed out the window. You land hard and then boom, you're back up ready to get slammed again. Metal up your ass indeed. Now, despite all this chaos, there's something weirdly beautiful about the Metallica pit. It's like a war zone, sure, but in the middle of all this madness, there's this weird sense of camaraderie. It's like you're all fighting for something bigger than yourselves. Sure, you just got your face smashed in by a boot, but when you make it out to the edge of the pit, gasping for air, there's always someone there, patting you on the back like, hell yeah, bro. Metallica rules. You're hurt, you're bruised, but damn it, you're alive, and that's all that matters. You get knocked down, and that's fine. Someone will pick you back up. But the best part? You're all in this together. It's like, yeah, someone just tried to take out your ribs with their elbow, but at the end of the day, you're still metal. You're still one of them. You're part of that family. You get back up, slap the dirt off your pants, and go back in for more. It's like a twisted version of church where the prayers are just seek and destroy and the incense is the scent of sweat and blood. And then, after all that chaos, you leave the pit. You've survived the battlefield, but at what cost? You look down at yourself and you've got bruises everywhere on your legs, your arms, your chest. You've got cuts on your arms and there's dirt all over you like you've been living in the woods for a week. And that mystery liquid? Yeah, it's probably someone else's water bottle. Or sweat. Or who knows what else. But the best part? You feel like a damn warrior. You're bruised, you're battered, but you're proud. You and your friends are just standing there, panting, holding on to each other like survivors of a zombie apocalypse. That was insane, you say, clutching your shoulder like you've just run a marathon while being chased by a lion. But you'll do it again. And again. Because Metallica. Because metal is life. You don't even realize how wrecked you are until the next day. You wake up and for a moment it's like you don't even recognize your own body. You think, alright, I'll just stretch a little bit, maybe get some coffee and get back to life. Then you try to sit up and it feels like someone took a guitar riff and slapped it across your spine. You can't even move your neck without wincing like you've been headbanging to creeping death all night long. But no, it wasn't the song, it was the damn pit. You roll over to get out of bed and immediately regret it as your knees crack like they're made of broken glass. It's like your body has completely betrayed you and you're reminded of all those metalheads you saw in the pit. Living proof that moshing can really take a toll on your body. It's not just a workout. It's a war on your joints. You didn't just get a free ticket to see Metallica. You bought yourself a one-way trip to Soreville. You know, there's a weird kind of survivor's guilt that comes with surviving a Metallica mosh pit. You made it through the chaos, but you look at your buddies and think, man, are we even gonna walk tomorrow? It's like we all signed a pact to put our bodies on the line for the true Metallica experience. You get through it, but you feel like you've crossed some kind of threshold. This is not just about hearing a song live. This is about becoming part of the legend. You start telling yourself, yeah, that was intense. That was metal. You see the bruises, the cuts, the torn up clothes, and it's like, I'm part of something now. But that something is definitely not a spa retreat. It's a brutal, glorious initiation into the realm of headbangers, shredders, and unholy moshing beasts. And then, just when you think you're done, oh no, you hear that riff again. You're at home, sitting in your living room, scrolling through your phone, and there it is, a Metallica live clip. Maybe it's just Enter Sandman, maybe it's the Four Horsemen, but suddenly that adrenaline hits you again. And in that moment you start thinking, hell yeah, I could do that again. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not this week, but I could do it again. Because once you survive a Metallica mosh pit, you're never really the same. There's also something kind of cool about being a veteran of a Metallica mosh pit. You know, the kind of person who's been there, done that, and survived with only a few broken ribs and a bruised ego. You start to notice that when you talk to people who've never been in the pit, they look at you like you're some kind of war hero. Like, oh, you've done a Metallica pit? Tell me everything. You know those people who go into the pit for the first time and are immediately overwhelmed by the chaos? You, on the other hand, you've seen it all. You walk in with that confidence of a war veteran. You know when to duck, when to go low, when to brace yourself for the next oncoming missile disguised as a person with a leather jacket. You've developed a sixth sense about the pit. You can feel when the momentum is shifting, when the next wave of thrash is about to crash into you. And the best part? You can take a hit without flinching. You're like a pit sensei at this point. You watch the rookies, the fresh faces getting tossed around, and you just laugh to yourself. You know they'll be back. You know they'll learn. You just hope they come back in one piece. But here's the thing. Even after all of that chaos, all the pain, all the body slamming, you realize something. There's a magic in it. And I'm not talking about the magic of the band, though that's definitely part of it. No, there's something about the entire experience, the pit, the energy, the chaos that creates this feeling of unity. Everyone there, no matter how much pain they're in, they're all together. That's something you don't get anywhere else. In most shows, you're just a spectator. You watch the band, enjoy the music, maybe even get a little emotional. But in a Metallica mosh pit, you're not just listening to the music, you're living the music. The entire thing becomes this primal, physical manifestation of the sound. It's the very essence of rock and roll, the energy, the aggression, the rebellion, all coming to life in that swirling pit of chaos. And, at least for that night, you're a part of it. You're no longer just a fan. You're an active participant in the ritual. Now, here's a story about something that really hits you at a Metallica show, besides the fists, of course. It's the first time you smell that pungent, unmistakable aroma in the air, marijuana. You're just standing there, trying to take in the sights, maybe making a joke with your buddy about how you're getting too old for this, when suddenly, wham, the smell hits you like a freight train. And not just any weed smell. This is that weed smell. The one that clings to your clothes like it's part of your soul for the rest of the night. So there you are, thinking, alright, this is gonna be a fun night. It's Metallica. What could go wrong? Then some dude next to you, wearing a very questionable Metallica shirt that hasn't seen a washing machine since 1994, offers you a hit. And you know at that moment you feel like you have to do it. It's Metallica. It's tradition. Plus, it's a little bit of peer pressure. This is how you find yourself holding your first joint at a Metallica show, and it's not just any joint, it's one of those massive ones that looks like it was rolled by a professional. I take a hit feeling like a total amateur, like, okay, here goes nothing. I inhale, and my lungs immediately regret it. You can feel the smoke wrap around your insides like it's a Metallica song trying to break free from your body. And for that brief, glorious moment, you feel like you've crossed some kind of invisible line into true rock and roll territory. The lights are flashing, the crowd is motioning, and you, my friend, are now officially part of the weird, hazy world of the Metallica mosh pit. But let me tell you, by the time one hits, you realize you're way more out of it than you thought. Suddenly, the lights feel brighter, the music louder, and the pit just got a whole lot weirder. I'm talking about the kind of weird that makes you question whether or not you're actually moshing, or if you're just watching it from some other dimension. Your legs feel like they're on fire, your head's spinning, and the next thing you know, someone's shoving you out of the way like you're a prop in a battle scene. And all you can think is this. This is what rock and roll's about. Then, of course, there's the time the beer got thrown at you. And I'm not talking about a casual splash from someone's cup in the crowd. No. This is a full-on surprise beer shower. I don't even know what happened. 1 minute, I'm moshing, headbanging to For Whom the Bell Tolls, and the next minute, splash, beer is all over my face. And not like the refreshing, cold kind of beer. Oh no. This is the kind of beer that's been sitting in someone's cup for who knows how long, warm and stale, just waiting to be flung at someone like a projectile. And let me tell you, when beer hits you in the face at a Metallica show, it's not just a beverage. It's a lifestyle. You're in the pit, right? You've got some guy elbowing you in the ribs, another guy's stomping on your foot, and then, boom, there's this beer that smells like regret and way too many late-night bar nights. It's like, in that instant, you've been baptized in the weird, grimy essence of rock and roll. You know, you're standing there, drenched, your shirt sticking to you like a second skin, but you're too in the moment to really care. You just wipe your face with your sleeve and think, hey, it's a Metallica show. What else is new? The worst part? You don't even get a chance to get mad because as soon as you turn around, someone else is getting the same treatment. And this is where it all blends together because you realize that by the time you're halfway through the set, the smell of beer and weed is fused together into some kind of bizarre sensory overload. It's like the scent of metal itself. Like, if Metallica had a flavor, it would be a mix of stale beer and whatever strange herbal concoctions someone smuggled into the pit. That's what you're inhaling at this point. It's like the ultimate rock and roll perfume, gritty, wild, and vaguely uncomfortable. You start to wonder, am I moshing, or am I just breathing in Metallica's soul? Did I accidentally sign up for a sensory experience, not just a concert? The smoke from the joints in the air, the smell of beer on your clothes, and the chaos of the pit, it all starts to feel like you're in the middle of some intense, out-of-body experience where the music becomes a physical presence. When you finally stumble out of that hellscape, looking like you've just gone through some kind of ritual sacrifice, you realize you're covered in not just sweat, not just bruises, but now the scent. The beer and marijuana have mixed into this essence that will forever cling to you, a permanent reminder that you survived the madness. You know you've reached the pinnacle of rock and roll. And yet, as you stand there, catching your breath, your shirt sticking to your skin like you're some kind of living sponge, you can't help but smile. Because, at the end of the day, it's all part of the experience. And if you can't smell like a little bit of weed and stale beer after a Metallica show, did you really even go? Was it even real? So, yeah, that's the Metallica mosh pit experience, folks. It's not for the faint of heart, but if you've got the courage, or maybe just the stupidity, to step into it, you're in for something you'll never forget. You're not just a concert goer, you're a survivor, a part of this wild, crazy, electric moment that'll stay with you long after the last note fades. And sure, maybe you'll need a chiropractor afterward, but who cares? You've lived. You've moshed. And if you can survive a Metallica mosh pit, you can survive just about anything. Hell, you might even start looking forward to the next time when the chaos calls to you again. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe out there, and remember, if you're not getting elbowed in the face, are you even really in a mosh?